the DJ is just like, all right, we got a comedian coming up. Here he is. And you're just like, all right, hi. I'm like, okay. Like, hello. Like they might say your name.
That does feel like it would be really weird.
What's happening,
What's
Nick?
up, dude?
Oh, the huge.
The huge. Yeah,
The
me
huge.
too. Not a
Yeah.
whole lot.
Not much.
Nope.
It's weird. Like you wake up and you're just like, what am I not gonna do today?
I know the weekends especially. It's like, well, I'm not gonna do anything.
Should I do something special? Should I pay for a movie on my TV?
Yeah, it's like, what am I gonna do? I'll walk around the neighborhood. Maybe I'll try a new street.
Yeah, right. I haven't been down Raleigh in a while.
Yeah, exactly. That's about the extent of my excitement these days.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, I rode my motorcycle again.
Oh yeah,
today.
you got a motorcycle.
Yeah, I bought a motorcycle.
Week.
Yeah, it's kind of a big week for me. Making big purchases. I'm excited about it. I'm still, dude. It's a weird thing to learn as an adult. Like, there's a part of me that wishes I would have learned it when I was younger and didn't have as much fear.
Yeah, no, most motorcycle people I know had motorcycles when they were a kid because their dad liked motorcycles or something.
Yeah, my dad hated them. Very against.
Yeah, my parents were both quite anti-motorcycle.
Like,
you're gonna get killed.
Anti-snowmobile as well.
Really, anything like they just were anti like gasoline-powered toys.
Yeah,
because they're expensive and bad for the environment and loud. And my dad wasn't ever into any of them, and like doesn't really do mechanical stuff. So like if they broke, they'd be a money pit. So they were never even an option. That wasn't even on the table.
Yeah. It was, yeah, my dad does not, he's not a fan. He's into car stuff, but like not like that into it, just into like buying cool stock cars.
Yeah.
Like doing nothing to it. Just maintenance.
Just likes nice cars.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Knows a fair amount of, but I mean, like knows what he's always like researching the next car that he's gonna get.
Yeah, I do the same thing, and then I never even get the car. I just read about cars,
and then you just move on to the next car that you're not gonna get.
Yeah, just like cars I can't afford, just over and over, just learn everything about cars I can't afford.
All right, so this sort of ties in. I was looking at these shoes, and I want to know if you had to get one of them, because they are definitely like designed after the Ferrari. If you had to get one pair of these, which colorway would you get? Would you get
the 14s?
The Jordan 14s.
Big fan, but
I know. But if you had to get one,
don't they have what were the original colorways?
I think the original is like one of the cheapest ones. Is it this one?
Yeah, I kind of like that black one. I think that one looks pretty cool.
Sick. It kind of looks like the interior leather something.
Yeah, it was designed to look, or like, because Jordan drove a Ferrari at the time.
Yeah.
I think a 355 maybe.
I don't know that, but like some of these other weird, crazy ones are
let me see if it was the 355.
I was curious. So I like this one myself, but it's like, if you're going to go with this ridiculous shoe, I almost feel like you got to get a crazy flashy color like this one. It's the inside. Oh, and it's got just solid suede. It doesn't have there's this yellow one too.
Oh, I don't like the yellow one. I don't know.
It's that Ferrari yellow too.
The Ferrari red. Ferrari red, that's the color you're supposed to get.
The challenge red. This wolf one isn't too bad, but it just doesn't, like, I don't know, it's almost kind of boring. Not really a fan of the shoe, but I do like the black one. That was mine. Because I also liked this
Oh,
at other
550M. That's what
five.
the Ferrari.
Okay. I liked the inside. I liked this. It's kind of almost like the 2 that nobody likes. It's reminiscent of that, I
Mm-hmm.
think.
I think the 14. I think more people like the 14 than like the 2.
Yeah, I could see that. This one's a
I
little bit
think
more.
Jordan played in the 14s like a
Oh,
little
really?
bit in his very last season.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I remember them being in the Last Dance. I think he played his last, like his final game in those or something, like
Gotcha.
the finals of his last season.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right.
Yeah.
So, what shoe are we going to talk about today? We should
I'll
probably get
talk
to it.
about these React Element 87s. They're kind of dirty. I wear them a decent amount.
Is that the
Got them.
Element Moss? Is that the
Yeah, I
colorway?
think moss is the colorway. It's kind of this greenish.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that off the top of my head. I just had a list of them, and I didn't know what color you had. I knew the shoe, but I didn't know what color.
Hmm. Yeah, I like these. They're super light, and they're definitely really comfortable to stand around in. I don't like them for long walks or runs because right back here, this this piece in the back, like for
Yeah.
me, it hits me in a bad spot and I get blisters. It's like
Gotcha. Oh, I could
stiff
see
back
that.
here, and
Kind of digs in there.
I don't know if I just need to break them in more, but I've had these for like a year and I've worn them a decent amount, and I still have. I recently walked like all around my neighborhood, like 2 or 3 miles the other day, and they still tore my feet up. So
Just,
as far as walking shoes, I would get a different pair. But for just like I've done stand up in them quite a bit, and just for wandering around, not like walking miles, just like wandering around and mostly driving places,
okay.
then they're
So
fine.
these are more driving shoes as opposed to
No, I would put them in the same category as like a lot of the shoes I have, where like
okay.
I wouldn't want to walk anywhere significant in them, you know?
Yeah,
Like honestly, I don't think any of the Jordans are that good for walking. They don't tear my heels up like that, but they also aren't like,
they're not great for it.
yeah, they're not the shoe I would choose for taking a long walk or going for a run. So
You do those Adidas
yeah, the Ultra Boosts are great
Ultra
for that.
Boosts. Yeah.
Yeah, the Ultra Boost 19 is my go-to. But yeah, these were a Nike store, Nike employee store
Oh, okay.
pickup.
I
I
saw
had a
there's a little
pass.
bit of reactive stuff on there when you held it up. Is it in the lace too?
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's reflective like yeah, the laces no, it's not in the laces, it's just on these
Just those hooks.
yeah, the hooks. I think that's the only place. Yeah, that's the only 3M.
That's that's
Yeah.
cool.
And it's got the whole React foam sole, which is very comfy. It really is just this little back tab that bugs me, and it's probably more my foot than the shoe because I think a lot of people love these for running and stuff. But
Okay.
it just doesn't work nice with my feet. I
Now
like that it's like a see-through mesh. You can see my fingers through
oh,
there.
oh,
Yeah.
that's cool. I didn't notice that in the
Yeah.
photos.
They've got a cork insole.
Cork?
Yeah, like wood.
Really?
Yeah, like yeah, it's got a thin layer of cork
Oh, weird. I've never seen
on
that.
top of the insole. Yeah. Yeah, I think it just helps it form more accurately to your foot, like it compresses to the shape of your foot.
Okay, like molds
Mm.
it. So do you like React or wait, it's React and Boost, right? You like Boost
Yeah,
better? You're more of a
I
Boost guy.
probably go toward Boost, but honestly, just because I feel like the Boost shoes that I have fit me a little better.
Yeah.
Um, like the React foam definitely is kind of similar in that it's it's kind of springy and cushy and nice.
Okay.
But I think my Boost shoes, I just like the way the Adidas is just like a sock shoe and it's soft all the way around. It doesn't dig in anywhere specifically.
Yeah, that's kind of yeah, I could see how that would be
Hmm.
uncomfortable.
And
So,
also, these are more traditional where they have like a tongue and laces that you actually have to tie to get them tight. Whereas the Ultra Boost is like a sock shoe that
okay.
the sock is what's tight around your foot, and then the laces you just kind of tie to get out of the way.
It's got that knit, whatever they call
Yeah,
it.
the prime knit,
Prime
and
knit.
it's I think I like it better for actual walking and running than these.
These kind of just look like they look really canvasy or something. Like I don't know, they look like a
They're like
bag.
a super light nylon. They're like
Okay.
what they're like some shit you would buy at REI.
Okay, yeah, that's what they look like.
Hmm.
They look waterproof.
They're most certainly not. I haven't tested that. I just know it.
You just know
Um,
that they're not.
yeah.
I've tested that whether my shoes are waterproof or not, unintentionally or intentionally, whilst living here.
Yep, there they
So
are.
these are them up close and personal.
Clean, not
Clean.
dirty.
Oh, you can see through it
Yep.
on here. You can see through.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can see
I
through.
do like the style. I like the oversized swoosh and the kind of like
The like inside your
sort of
t-shirt
unfinished look
thing
there.
on the side.
Yeah, I like that. I like the way they I like the way they look. That's
What's that
part of
called? A
why I bought them.
surge. That surged.
Yeah, I think that's what that stitch is called. But yeah,
I'm gonna
and I
pretend
thought it
like
was
I
a
don't
cool
know.
colorway. I still like
Yeah.
the way these shoes look, and I'm still gonna wear them. I just am not
So
gonna walk.
would you pay for them?
I paid 40% off of 160, so I don't know. What is that? $100?
That's not bad.
$90? $100? Yeah.
And they're still going for 160 at this point. They're like
Yeah.
they're like just at retail.
Yeah, I bought them actually a little over a year ago now. Just over a year ago at the Nike employee store.
Was this the only colorway, or was this were you like
Um, I
was
think
this a
they had a
deliberate
couple
choice?
options, but that was the one I liked better of what was there. And I still think it's a cool colorway. It's one of my favorites that I've seen
Mm-hmm. This is a very
on that
Portland
shoe.
looking shoe to me. Maybe it's just because there's moss on everything here, but
Yeah, no, I could see that. It's kind of techy looking, and it's got some
yeah.
moss on it. Yeah, that's fair.
I was just trying to think of a joke version of that, but I couldn't think of it.
Yeah.
It's like pretty white. um it's got these little hits of whatever, little like droplet things.
Yeah, I don't know. I think those are like I think there's like bars that go through it. I don't there's something to do with the way the sole works.
Okay.
Yeah, I think those are like the ends of rods or something that go through it.
Oh really?
Yeah, or something like that. I remember I read about it one time and then I was like, there's some tech of some
Okay.
sort. Cool.
These look
And
like
then
they're the hottest ones. These are the most expensive ones, I think.
I mean they're loud.
You just gotta make them super loud. Ugh, that's like a yellowish. No, these are gross. Not into these.
Yeah, kind of a yellowish green.
Yeah, you can see that they didn't take the paper out
Yeah, I know. That's funny.
when
Still got a
they
crumpled up
that's
paper when they took the
uh,
picture.
um
Lazy.
yeah, lazy photographers. Jeez.
Way to go, StockX. Lazy
Yeah,
bastards. But yeah.
I didn't.
That's
I guess these ones I was just like unaware of that they were in your collection.
yeah, I feel like you've seen them, but they weren't like a notable shoe at the time.
Yeah, they're not
Look
super
like
loud or.
they just look like sneakers. Yeah, I wore them. I've worn them on stage a number of times,
Yeah,
like to mics and stuff. I wore them a lot last summer.
dude, I don't know if this is for some reason. Okay, so
Mhm.
I changed the way I was thinking about stand up
Mhm.
yesterday or this week, I
Okay.
guess. I was like, you know what? Fuck stand up. I'm gonna be done with stand up for the rest of the year. Like truly let
Mhm.
go. I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna even try.
Yeah, it's
Not
not.
even gonna try. Whatever.
Mm.
And then this morning, I pulled out my phone, or like this afternoon, I was like, I got like a wild hair and I pulled out my phone because normally on a Saturday afternoon, if I really wanted to to do any stand-up, or if I had a show later, I would go to this Marino's Cafe. That's just like a local problematic open mic for no reason.
It's not really problematic.
It's a coffee
It's a
shop
clean mic at a coffee shop.
in the afternoon on a
Mhm.
Saturday. And I when I feel like I want to try out a new joke, I usually just like I'll just go there and without even writing it or barely even thinking about it and just try it out. And I'll usually hit up Todd because we're neighbors and be like, hey, you want to? And I pulled out my phone to just be like, hey, man, you want to go? And I was like, oh my God, I can't. We can't. It's not happening.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, restaurants opened yesterday, but
Yeah.
I don't think Marino's Cafe
Well, I'm sure they've
open
been
mic.
open,
I'm
but
sure
they're
they
not
have,
going to
but I
have
don't
any
know if they're
shows.
having open mics. They want customers.
Not.
And the open mic made sure that social distancing took place, even if it wasn't before.
Well, I mean,
Like,
of the mics, I feel like that one could happen because there was barely anybody there.
like when there were, and the open mic started, those people socially distanced their way right out the door. I remember
Exactly.
we chased the customers out of that coffee shop pretty much every Saturday.
Like people would just be like, they'd
People
come
would
in.
come in with their babies, with like 6-year-old children, and there's just some degenerate up on stage talking about, whatever.
Whatever, trying to make it clean.
Yeah. Oh, that was the most fun, is trying to make the dirty jokes clean. And just like, I think one time I just gave up and I just was silent through my swear words like it was an edited rap song.
And just
And
like
that was pretty
cut it.
funny. Yeah.
That is funny.
Yeah. It was fun.
Yeah, I guess I just like had a thing I wanted to try, and then I was like, oh man, we don't have we can't do that right now. It's just like a weird random thing. And it was like right after I was like, I made this decree, like I'm done. And then immediately the next day I was like, but maybe I could. God. So
Nah.
I'm realizing that I'm not. I mean, I don't know. I'm like I'm not totally. It's not out of the question, but I'm not banging down the door. I don't think I really would have gone, even if it did happen, even if
Hmm.
it was happening. I just don't know. I don't
Yeah,
think
I'm
I would
not
have
going to anything
actually
yet.
followed through.
I'm gonna watch this situation before I start doing stuff like that. I'm
Hmm.
I'm still wary of coronavirus here. I don't It's not gone. We know it's not gone.
It's not gone. And people are just like the people in comedy, I think, are just so reckless that they don't care about that. And they're just like, I gotta do my thing. And I'm like,
Yeah, I do think there's an element of that. I have seen some people in comedy are definitely
I guess I'm not missing it
like
that
that.
much, and it makes me feel bad that I'm not missing it that much. Like I am
Yeah.
missing it for
No,
sure.
I feel the same way. Like I'm like, well, I should I be missing this more?
But there is a part of
You
me
know?
that's like, man, I think here's what it is for me. This is my theory on why I'm nervous about going back into it. When we had to stop,
Hmm.
I was a part of running a Monday night show, a Wednesday night show, a Thursday night show, and then I was in the process of pitching a Saturday night show. And then I had our writers meeting
Hmm.
and bowling. I don't know if that really counts, but that's a thing that I did at night. And I think I'm nervous about is it kind of feels like I'm stepping off of a couch, like getting up off a couch and onto a moving treadmill. You know what I mean?
Yeah, going from doing
Sitting for
no things to
like,
back to doing all the things.
just like running.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it's going to be a situation like when you stand up too fast and you get lightheaded and,
Hmm.
and then you trip on the treadmill and do two
Yeah.
front flips.
No, I've thought about that. I've thought about like, well, I really, I haven't done a whole lot in this
Yeah,
quarantine, and then I'll go back to Mike's every fucking night and shows and whatever.
that's so intimidating sounding to me right
That was
now.
Dude, that was what intimidated me away from starting stand up in the first place
What do you
for
mean?
a while.
The like, because you were like, if I'm
Cuz
gonna do
I
this,
would
I'm
go
gonna
on like
do.
Reddit or whatever where people were talking about stand up,
Yeah.
and read about people starting stand-up. And people would always ask, I think I'm funny, or my friend said I got something funny. I
I
want to
like that
try
tone that you
stand-up.
read these Reddit posts because it's dead on.
Yeah, I want to try stand-up. And everybody on Reddit was like, well, are you ready to go up and bomb 3 times a night, 6 days a week for the
Yeah.
rest of your life? You ready to tell jokes to nobody until you die? And people were like, well, couldn't I just do like 1 or 2 a week? No, you're not dedicated.
If you do too, you're not dedicated.
The only reason to skip going to an open mic is if you have 3 kinds of cancer. 2 kinds of cancer, that's not enough cancer. You can still get up.
You
And
can
it's
still
like,
do
what the
at least a
fuck, man?
set.
Which is not true.
What do you think it is? Like,
I
what do you think the truth is? Like, after doing it for a year, what was your truth
In my
on that?
opinion, I do think consistency is important, and I think once a week wouldn't be enough. I think hitting different rooms is important. But I think
Mhm.
if you have like maybe 2 or 3 a week that you always go to, and you try to throw a couple extra in there if you can,
Yeah.
you know, it's enough that you're being consistent, you'll make some progress, but it's not so much that you might burn out, you
Yeah.
know. And I feel like there's a lot of pressure to be at everything,
Hmm.
be seen at everything. But I feel like to some extent you could end up burning out, and you're going to be doing it for the wrong reason. Like you're just going to be there to be
Doing
there.
being there for the wrong
Yeah,
reason.
like if and it's not like the stage time isn't useful. You should definitely get on stage.
Hmm.
But like, I don't know. I feel like burning out, like it's more important to just keep doing it and keep doing it than it
Hmm.
is to do every single thing that you possibly can and then burn out and then quit. So,
Yeah.
yeah, if you can.
The advice that I wish I would have gotten or took, I think I got it or something. Anyway, the advice I wish I would have done is build to that. Nobody ever says that. They're like, you got to do it every single night of the week. You should, I guess,
Mhm,
if you want to be really good, but I think you got to build to that.
I do too, and
You don't
I
you don't just
experienced that a
you don't
little.
just go like, all right, I'm doing it now. Turn it on every night.
Yeah.
Like, I think you do like start whatever you're comfortable with. Like maybe I think you should start a little bit outside your comfort zone, but not like so far out of your comfort zone. And then just build to doing it every night of the week, where you're almost like, "Oh wait, I didn't even realize I was going out every night for that." Or whatever, or like you're booked on that many shows
Mhm.
where I don't know. I found a lot of value in doing my own shows because then I was there
That kind of gave you
consistently.
those 3 a week that you always did.
Yeah, yeah,
Is you were
because
always at your own show, so you always got on stage every week. And then
yeah.
if you did some other stuff too, great.
Well, that's a part that a lot of people don't talk about that much is like the amount of times you go out and don't get on stage. That drives me crazy. That's the part that I struggle with the most, I think, is like when I'm like all ready to go
Mhm.
and then I don't get to go up or I get like a really horrible spot where I'm there all night. That's the part that I struggle with personally. And that's why I was like, you
Mhm.
know what? I'm going to be doing this. I want to be a host. I want to be a host
Yeah.
because I really don't like this, like waiting to do
Mhm.
3 hours to do 3 minutes
Yeah, I
at
think
the
if you're
end.
not the host of stuff and you're just doing mics, hitting the same, having a rotation of 2 or 3 that you are at religiously
Mm-hmm.
kind of helps you avoid that.
Totally.
Because the
Because then,
mics that I was a regular at,
yeah,
by the time I was a few months in, I started getting kind of nice spots at all those mics.
yeah,
And then, like, any mics run by those people, like, they just knew me and they were like, yeah, he's, more than likely he's not going to completely bomb. He might, but like they knew that I would, try.
yeah. And they're not going
And
to
that
give you a shitty
they knew
spot
I wasn't gonna
every
go up there and say something completely wild and outrageous that was gonna get their bar shut down. So they they'd give, and they liked me because I wasn't a dick, and so yeah, they'd throw me a decent spot at most
Yeah.
of those mics.
I think,
Also, I noticed that like the longer I did comedy, like I think by the time I was 4 or 5 months in, I just wanted to be at more mics. Like I just wanted to be out
yeah.
more. So I ended up going up most nights of the week. Like probably 5 a week is what I average, 5 nights a week. And yeah,
But
I
see,
just
that
ended up.
happened kind of organically for
It
you.
did, and I think my approach was always try to get 3 a week, and pretty
Hmm.
soon I just was like, oh, that's easy. I'm gonna do this one too. What the fuck else am I doing right now? Or I'd go
Yeah.
out and I'd hit a mic, and then there was another one right after it, and I'd already gone up, so I was like, yeah, fuck it, okay.
Yeah. And you just
Hop
sort of
over
like,
to the next one.
exactly. But that's not pushing yourself outside your comfort zone.
No, no, and that's
Or
one of those things that,
like it was when you first started. If you were to just be like,
yeah,
okay, mapping it out.
just getting on stage is pushing yourself outside your comfort zone
Yeah.
to
And the whole
start.
thing with like starting a show or like getting the position where I was is
Mm-hmm.
like I think after about a year of doing open mics, like I think you should do a year of open mics. I think that's really good
Mm-hmm.
to do that and build and do, as many as you can, but building to multiple times a week,
Mm-hmm.
and then look into starting a show. I think it's a mistake when people start a show immediately where they're like, oh, this is bullshit. I don't get the good spots. Like, no, you do a little bit of time in those horrible spots, but then
Mm-hmm.
also eventually push yourself once you're like, okay, I can do that, or like I've been doing these spots for a while. Now I want to sort of like take my comedy to the next level, so to speak, then do the show, start a show
Yeah.
where you can get consistent. Because I'm talking about going back to doing open mics after doing this for 5 or 6 years. And so it was like going from doing a lot of showcases and stuff to doing those 3-minute spots at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, all right, this isn't where I belong. I need to be someplace
Yeah,
else.
like when you moved here from Vegas and you had
Yeah.
to start with a new scene.
Where I was like starting over.
Yeah. No, that does sound rough. Yeah, it would suck to be. I mean,
I
I
mean, I
don't know
think
what it's
though,
like to be that many years in because I'm only a year in, but like, it feels like it would suck to be that many years in and then have to go back to being dead last on the list with no one in the audience.
right?
Yeah.
There's some advantages though to that, in my opinion, too, is that you can kind of like, it's sort of like that beginner's mind thing where you sort of, because you're forced to start over, you just like are getting things on a deeper level.
Mm-hmm.
And the cool advantage too is you can kind of reinvent yourself a little bit
Oh yeah.
and sort of like, I don't know, there's some different things like,
Mm-hmm.
work on your voice, or
Yeah.
and having that patience and not, and just like letting go of that ego thing and having the patience to just like sit back and be a beginner again.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot of value in that too, because a lot of
Yeah.
times we just,
Yeah.
when we do anything for a long time, we just like refuse to like learn anything, and then we're kind of stuck.
Mm-hmm.
And then like for me, starting over gave me a chance to like sort of learn things, like approach things differently and sort of like try it a little bit different way, but with my experience.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense.
So my new thing I'm learning is motorcycling. Which is, dude, it's kind of nerve wracking. I understand. Do you have any interest in learning how to ride a motorcycle?
I mean, I would like to learn at some point in my life, but
Is
I
it
don't know.
what's preventing you right now? I mean,
Well, not owning a motorcycle and not wanting to fuck up someone else's motorcycle,
okay,
mostly,
okay.
and time and money.
Well, I mean, not that you asked, but I would say anyone who's thinking about doing it wants to get into motorcycles,
Mm-hmm.
you have to take this motorcycle safety class in Oregon and in a lot
Mm-hmm.
of states. And it's this 2-day class, and they literally start you from the beginning. And it's amazing. Anyone who's ever interested in motorcycling, I would say take this class,
Mm-hmm.
because they move you through the first class, maybe not the second
Mm-hmm.
class, but the first, you have to take it and pass it to get
Okay.
the endorsement on your driver's license.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's
And they
rad.
teach you how to ride a motorcycle in that
Yeah.
class?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the first thing you do is
Mm-hmm.
literally you. And what's cool about it is there's a lot of opportunities for stopping and starting and like taking turns from a stop and like taking turns with a little bit of speed, and like they work you through it in this really cool way that you wouldn't normally get because you're stopping all the time, and it's a manual, so you have to, that's the hardest part. Like once you learn
aren't
how to
all bikes
shift,
manual? Is there an automatic bike?
there are, but they're like crazy high
Is
level.
it like the Honda Goldwing? That seems
I,
like it might
I
be
don't
an
know if
automatic bike.
I feel like there's like some like BMWs and stuff like that. Like so those big fancy touring
Yeah,
ones.
those big touring bikes.
Yeah.
I
The
could see those
Gullwing,
having
they
an
might
automatic.
have that one in the
Goldwing,
Honda
because
Gullwing might be an
yeah,
automatic.
the Goldwing it's so big. It's got a 6-cylinder engine in it. It's massive.
It's huge.
Yeah,
And
it's
it's
got
like
a
a giant
horizontally
love
opposed
seat or not love seat.
6-cylinder engine.
They've just got these big cushy seats and stereos and all kinds of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um
Big
though
crazy bikes.
but most of, I mean, all the bikes that you're learning on are manual, and like
Most bikes that you would buy are also
yeah,
manual, I think,
yeah,
right?
and
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty common that it's going to be a manual transmission and not and that's just like part of it's in the culture too. Like no one's like trying
Yeah, no one wants an
wanting
automatic bike.
no not that I
No,
know of.
nobody cool
Yeah,
wants
like
an automatic bike.
nobody wants the automatic bike. It's just like part of what's cool about it is the shifting.
Yeah.
I mean it's similar to, driving a stick shift, except you're using the hand as the
It's
clutch and the
left
foot
hand,
yeah
lever,
is the clutch.
right? Is
Yep.
the clutch.
And then the foot
Yeah,
it's a
what, up
sequential.
for first and down for the subsequent 5 or whatever, or is it down for first and up for all the rest?
So it's down for first from neutral, it's down for first and then up sequentially
Mm-hmm.
for
Is
the
yours
rest.
a 6-speed?
Yeah.
The bike you got?
Yep.
You got the Rebel 500, right?
The Rebel
Honda?
500, yeah. And now that I said yes, it's a 6-speed. It might be a 5-speed. Now that I'm I'm gonna Google it because I don't know that much about the specs of it. I've just been learning how to ride it.
Yeah, you got it because it's like a really good bike for new riders, right?
Yep. And it looks cool. Let's be honest.
That's an important thing with a motorcycle.
Yeah, there's six gears on the Rebel. And it's interesting. I was driving it today, and man, driving a cool looking motorcycle is a lot like being a hot girl. Like all the dudes are checking you out. Just like so many people just like doing the full drive-by check. The full look back.
Nice.
That was cool. I mean, I do it too. Like because I'm like, ooh, what is that bike? Oh, it's another Harley or whatever. But
so is your bike loud?
No, not really. It's not that loud. It's not loud like a Harley. It's pretty quiet, honestly. But it's a great bike. Yeah. It's really fun. And part of the reason I got kind of a little bit bigger bike than I would to learn on is just because then you can kind of like grow into it and you don't grow out of it.
Yeah, but it's not such a big bike that you're going to immediately just wheelie it off of every start.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you wheelie it yet? No, accidentally?
I'm not going to. I don't plan on it.
There are some bikes that I think if it's too powerful of a bike and you aren't good at riding, like you might accidentally wheelie it.
You could, but I'm not like revving it up and then letting go of the clutch. Like I just have like all of my cars until like basically the one I have now were automatic or were not automatic. We're all manual.
Yeah,
and so I just have this
now,
like
so I feel like I would be fine at that. Like I know how to release a clutch and start gently.
I'm almost too gentle. Like I should be a little bit more aggressive with how I release it. But I'm learning. I'm still learning. So I'm still figuring it out.
Yeah.
And it's been really fun. But if you're thinking about it, just take the class to get the endorsement. And it's like $200. It's 2 days. They provide the bike and the helmet and everything. You just have to wear boots and gloves and rain gear because it was torrential downpour when I did my second day. I took the test.
I remember that.
In like a monsoon. It was fun, but man, we were soaked. And And like there's this thing where you have to stop between cones. Like you can't start
Mm-hmm.
stopping until you pass this cone, but then you have to stop before this other cone.
Mm-hmm.
And it was raining and there was just like puddles everywhere, and they kept having to move it so that we weren't like trying to stop in a puddle. Because that was the only thing I got a little off on, was the test was I skidded a little bit in my emergency stop.
Mm.
So you go up to 45 or
Yeah. Does the
35
bike have?
and
Do
then
they
come to
have
a complete stop.
ABS? I know the fancy ones probably do. Does
Yes,
yours?
but I didn't get the ABS version
Oh, okay.
because that one wasn't on sale. This one was
Fair
on
enough.
sale. It was like $1,500 off. So that's also why I kind of jumped on it.
Yeah.
Because it's a 2019. There's a 2020. They had some
Mhm.
2020s, and those were a little bit more money, but it's not bad. But yeah, taking the class really, I mean, you start, like, you literally start from, you're just sitting and you just learn to like feather and just go forward, and then they have you like foot back, and then you like go forward a little bit, and
Mhm.
then you push back, and you just like, you start there, and then you start like going where they're like, okay, you go, and then like stop over here, and so it's like somebody goes and you stop, and there's like a lot of waiting, and so there's a lot of like, you get a lot of really good experience, like even just waiting in line to go around the thing,
Mhm.
is you have to move your bike like a few feet at a time. So
Yeah. So you
you're
gotta.
working on the clutch. Yeah, totally.
Mhm.
And not running into the person in front of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which
Good
somebody
point.
did that in my class. Like somebody just let go of the clutch
Mhm.
and their bike just was like, "Brr," and then they held on to the handlebar. So
Mhm.
like then they just like revved it way up and it like wheelied and like almost hit one of the other people in the class.
Oh, embarrassing. Did they
Yeah.
turn it over to, like, did it fall over too? Did they lose complete control of it?
Well, they like ran next to it,
Mm.
and if they had just let go of the handle, it would have been
Mhm.
fine. But they like
Oh.
held on and like tried to run next to it. It was like, no, what are you doing?
Oh, it sounds funny.
So you don't let go. You never let go of that. And then the other thing, like that my friend told me, he's like, never trust the gear indicator that you're in neutral. Like, just
Mm.
don't, like, just be, never just like let go. Never just like
Just
completely let
never
go of
just
that.
let go of the clutch.
Yeah, you never want to do that. Like,
Okay.
even if it says that it's in neutral, like it could possibly be a little bit in gear or like catch and get into
Mm.
gear if you let it go like that, if you pop it.
Okay.
So
So
if
you
you're
wanna,
gonna,
if you're gonna let off the clutch, like
yeah,
let off
just like
slowly.
let off slowly, and if it's moving a little bit, and just pay
Mhm.
attention.
That's a
It's
fair point.
But yeah, I was really glad I took the class, and it was like, because I was so intimidated, and I was like, and then because I was like, oh, I want to get into motorcycling, and then I looked into it, and I was like, oh, I have to take a class, man. And then my friend was like, no, no, it's like legit. You'll want to do this, and like I'm like, oh, okay, And
Yeah, I mean it does seem cool. I might do that one of these days.
if you
Learn how to ride a
do,
motorcycle.
if you take it, it's
Mhm.
easier to get into the winter and fall classes than the spring and summer
Mm.
classes.
I
Those are
probably
booked.
won't be taking it this year.
Those are
That'll
booked
be a
out.
future thing.
But they're booked out pretty far because there's a
Mhm.
bottleneck. Like literally everybody who wants to ride a motorcycle legally in the state has to take a class.
Oh,
And there's
okay.
like one company that does it, and they don't offer them all the time. They're not doing them right now, but
Mhm.
there's only so many slots, so they are kind of hard to get into. Like I had to take one in Gresham. I couldn't even get in the one in Portland.
How long, like, did you have to sign up for it and then wait like 6 months and then take it? Like, or was it?
It was about, I mean, I signed up pretty far in advance, but yeah, it was about 4 months before
Okay.
I took the class. I almost forgot about it actually, because like you pay for it, and then there's all these things that are just like, we're doing this, rain or shine. Like, all right. And it did rain. But it's cool. Like, yeah, they put you on a bike that fits your size, and they go really slow. The second day goes a little faster. The first day they go nice and slow, but then they really kind of push you the second day because you literally like learn the rest of the stuff, and then you get tested on it immediately after that. So it's like you're getting tested on things that you literally did for the first time. But like if you've ridden a bicycle, you can do all this stuff.
Yeah, it seems like one of those things that like is probably the concepts of it aren't that hard, and then it's just a matter of practicing it a lot and
Yeah.
getting good.
And I think the thing about like if you do take it, if you want to pass, like they pass pretty much everybody.
Hmm.
Honestly, like there was a few people in the class. I was just like, I don't know. There was 2 people in my class that did not pass. Somebody did something that was like there was like a thing that like if you do this, it's an automatic fail.
Hmm.
Somebody did that, I think, and that's why they didn't pass. But they even let them do it again. Oh, that's what it is. If you mess up a thing and then you mess it, you get a redo, but you got to get it right the second time.
Mm.
But it was because this guy had a language barrier. English was not his first language.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't think he fully understood what he was supposed to be doing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it
So
makes sense.
I think that's why, because like he was really good at writing. They were like, technically we cannot pass you because you did the automatic fail thing. The other dude, this guy was, oh my God, he was so bad. But it was weird because he looked like a biker. Like he had the look and he had his own gear. But man, he was, he, you couldn't see it on his face, but he was scared and he just like wouldn't go fast at all. They'd be like,
Hmm.
okay, we need everybody to kind of like go around the thing and, get up to 3rd gear. And he would just be like, boop, 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 like, and you're not allowed to pass anybody. And so like, it would be this every single time we would do anything, we would all end up sitting behind him where we would have to all come to a complete stop.
Hmm.
And the drill was like, no, we're supposed to be going in a circle for a while, but this guy's going so slow and we're not allowed to pass. So we're all just like, all right, we're all just sitting
Just
here while you're like,
putting along in first gear, just.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And the instructors are yelling at him. They're like, gear, go into another gear. You gotta go faster. And he just wasn't ready for it.
Oh
He
yeah.
just wanted to tool around, but we just kept all getting stuck behind him, where they got to the point where they're just like a couple of the drills they just pulled him, and it was
Hmm.
like, so that was the one person that didn't pass. Like they'd be like, okay, get up to 35, and then you have to like go through these cones really fast, like do
Hmm.
this evasive thing, and he like didn't even, I don't know, he was just like doo, 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 doo. And they're like, do it again, and then he just does the same thing. And it was like, and you knew who didn't pass because they didn't get to go take the written test with everybody else.
Oh.
So we're all like looking around like, who didn't pass? But it was
Well,
pretty
too bad for
obvious.
that guy. Yeah, it sounds like he wasn't taking it too seriously either. Or he was like
I
nervous.
I think he was just so scared. Like he was
Yeah.
just
Why
so
was he going
scared.
for a damn motorcycle license if he's not afraid then?
I think because they
Sounds like
like,
somebody like forced him into it.
I think he had a lot of friends that rode and he wanted to
Oh.
ride with his friends. I mean, like he had all of the gear. Like he had the scraggly beard, like the long gray goatee. But he was, I mean, basically it's like if you're just an idiot, you're not going to pass this, but it's like it's easier than you think. Like it's not like,
Yeah.
I have no doubt in my mind that you wouldn't pass it first try. If like you've ridden a bicycle before, like, and
No,
you
I
know how
feel
to
like I
gear
would catch
shift.
on. I would figure it out.
They work you through so many things, and like, I mean, going through the cones is a little tough, but if you just like, and then this whole thing of like, um what is it called, the counter steering, do you know what that is?
Like if your back tire slides out and you turn into the skid, that kind of situation.
Oh, where you're like that. No, it's this
Because that.
weird thing. So to dip the bike into
Mm-hmm.
a turn, technically you actually have to turn the opposite way slightly to drop into a turn. You actually have to turn the wheel a little bit
Like
out
to
of the
go.
turn.
Okay.
And so
Is it something you do consciously, or is it something you just automatically kind of do?
if you can dip a turn on a bicycle, you're
Yeah.
counter steering. But when they explain it to you, that's the only thing that fucks me up. Is basically I was fine when they were just like, Bjorn, you've been making all of the turns just fine. You're actually doing it. You just don't know that's what you're doing to make it dip. But you
Yeah,
do have to
it does
kind of
seem like
like,
it'd be
it's a
one of
little
those
weird.
things that might be automatic. You just don't think about it. Just kind of the physics of it works out that way.
Mm-hmm. So like when it's this weird thing. It's just like once you're aware of it, then it fucks you up because then you're like, oh, and wait, I'm not, and then you're hesitating and you're like, and you're in your head and you're not thinking about. Yeah. So counter steering, it's confusing and it confuses you. But if you're already making the turn, then you're doing it. So don't worry about it.
So do you turn in and then turn out afterward, or you turn out first
You
and
turn
then
out
lean over?
first and then because it's like to dip into it, and it is, you just have to practice and your body will just naturally do it.
Okay.
It's just like
interesting.
You press slightly in the direction, and that's what allows you to dip the bike.
So it's literally just the amount that you would press into the handlebars just to lean over to get into the corner is enough of a count. It's not like something you visually can see. You're not just like
If you watch someone who has like a camera
like a GoPro on their helmet,
like a GoPro on their helmet looking down at the thing, you'll see like, oh, they do slightly turn that to dip into that turn and dip into that turn.
Okay. Interesting.
And once it's in your head, you're like, it is harder, I think. It's like, you're like, but that's the only kind of weird thing that fucked me up. But even so, it's basically, it's like when they take the test is like, I'm, from my understanding, unless you do something that is like an automatic fail, you pretty much don't have to worry about not passing it. Like they make it seem like it's hard, so because they want you to try, but it's not so bad. I was like surprised at like, and you watch everybody else and you're like, oh, that wasn't very good. This wasn't very good. I wonder if they're going to pass. And then all those people passed, you know? Like, I think I just hit one cone. And they were like, you don't even have to redo it. It's fine. Like, don't worry about it. But yeah, you have to like leave in these cones, which is.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like you'd have to do some, like in case there's something on the road.
Yeah.
And just to show that you can steer a motorcycle around things.
And you have to make
like a cone
turn.
Course.
Yeah, you have to do this 90-degree right turn.
Okay.
The thing I've been struggling with the most, honestly, right now is just the signaling, because it doesn't have automatic shutoffs. So I keep leaving the signal on.
And so you're driving around like an old person.
Yeah. Well, because there's no automatic. And also with my specific vehicle, you got to like really push it. Like, so I'm just getting into the habit of just double, because I can see in my display if it's clicking still. But I turned left onto this one road, and it was kind of like I had to like get up to speed, and I was still thinking, like, because I'm still having to think about shifting. Yeah. Like, and you know, all that. It's just a lot. So I've been taking it slow, doing just a little bit at a time. Yeah. It's fun. It's been fun.
Yeah, no, it sounds awesome. I'm stoked.
It's a good thing to do for quarantine.
It's an outdoor distanced activity.
Yeah, it's a
driving around on a motorcycle.
It's the perfect activity for what's going on. I'm literally wearing like body armor. I got this leather jacket with like things in it, like weird elbow and shoulder and back brace and all that. I don't have the pants. I have the gloves, the jacket, helmet, dude, because it's illegal here in this state to ride without a helmet.
Yeah, I think I've heard that. I've got a buddy that has a lot of bikes, and
here,
we'll see. He wears
because the biggest like bars to entry for me were like, A, I didn't have a bike, and B, I didn't really feel like I had the capacity to get a bike, because the bike I wanted was in Beaverton or in Tigard, and I'll be honest, dude, I don't know my way around in a car in that town.
Yeah,
and you
me
can't really
neither.
use a GPS. And I don't know how to drive a motorcycle that good yet. The only way that I know how to get to Beaverton and to Tigard is on the
Is with the
freeway
GPS.
with the
Yeah.
GPS.
Yeah, me too.
And
Like I know it's over there, but other than that.
yeah, I don't really even know the highways exactly. And I was like, all right, so I'm gonna have to drive across to a part of town or from a part of town that I
Hmm.
don't know, and I don't know the side streets. Like if it was a dealership in like Gresham or something, like I know the streets around here really well, but
Yeah.
over there I don't know at all. Like, and they're hilly and windy and weird, and I don't know where I'm going.
Hmm.
So there was that, and I was like, shit, how am I gonna get the bike to me? Like, and then also like where I currently live is on a pretty busy street, so like I have to make kind of a wild left or wild even right
Hmm.
in my car most days. I'm like nervous because there's just cars parked and I can't see. It's a blind turn.
Yeah, no, I've been to your apartment, and turning out of your apartment is a nightmare.
It's
It's
super
really awful.
scary at a lot of hours of the day,
Hmm.
and I don't like doing it in my car. And like I don't make risky turns, but like sometimes I'm just like, I mean, I gotta have my whole, like, I guess on a bike I could get like into the bike lane and I can
Hmm.
see, versus with my car I have like my car the
Yeah, you
whole
have a whole
engine part
yeah, the whole
where
hood of
I
your
still
car would
can't
have to stick out
quite
into traffic.
yeah, it pretty much does. When I'm making a left turn, I'm like all the way into the bike lane and I still
Hmm.
can't see some days.
Yeah, because people park right up to the edge
Yeah,
on that side, and so they block your view of traffic. It's awful.
it's not cool at all. And then, yeah, and then it's 35. So people go 55 on that part of the road.
Hmm.
And they can't see you pulling out either. That's the other reason why I like to kind of get my nose out so that people kind of like that are driving maybe will see that I'm trying to turn
Hmm.
and slow down.
Yeah.
I mean, so that was the other reason I was like, fuck, I don't want to like learn to
But did
drive
you get it in
over here.
Beaverton, or how did it work
Yeah.
out when you got it?
So I have more friends than I realized in Portland that ride motorcycles, which I
Hmm.
learned from posting a photo of my motorcycle. But I've got a buddy who's like, you can store your bike here in the wintertime in my garage because he wants a riding buddy because he doesn't
Mm-hmm.
have any friends that really that bike or that ride anymore.
Nice.
So I can store it in the winter as in his garage because it doesn't take up that much space.
Hmm.
And he went with me and picked it up and drove it to his house for me.
Oh, nice.
So that's how I
That's
was able to
awesome.
get it. Because
Nice.
and even when I was driving it, I was just like, there is no way. He had to pass like some semi trucks. Like that's like a level that I am not even close to yet. Passing semi trucks going up a hill over like a small pass thing.
Hmm.
That
Yeah, like going on I-5 or whatever through, or 26,
yeah, like
one of
just
those up over the hill.
yeah. I mean, already though, like I would feel more comfortable today now
Hmm.
doing it after 4 days of riding.
What's the fastest you've gone on it so far?
45.
Okay.
I haven't really opened it up. I haven't gotten to that top gear yet. I'm really just like trying to work on just getting comfortable with it and not taking too many risks. And I also
Yeah.
just it's like I've said this before. I think it's really important if you want to build a habit or like learn how to do something to do it in small increments, but high frequency.
Yeah.
Even
That's
though
fair.
we just talked about comedy being like, don't just jump right in. But that's the thing. I'm
No, but
jumping
we
in.
sort of said do small. I mean, you're only allowed to do small increments of comedy when you start.
Mhm. You're not doing an hour right away.
No, I hope not. I don't want to see that. But
I've got some friend. I have a friend who that was the first time he ever did stand up. He did an hour. Like, and then Dylan. Dylan did
yeah,
that.
yeah, Dylan did that.
He would do an hour every. I think it was like once a month at some show.
Yeah,
He'd just go up and do an hour.
just some random guy like wanted comedy at his place, right? And just
Yeah,
hired him to do an hour.
once a month. And he was getting like a few $100s to do it. And apparently he was good. Like I believe that. Like he can just
Yeah,
go
I
up
do
and talk
believe
for an
that
hour.
because Dylan can riff really well and like talk to the crowd really well. So I imagine.
Oh, I just can't. I've never even done an hour. The
Oh,
longest I've ever done is 45. Same as the speed on my motorcycle. I've only done. I did get hired to do an hour, and I did 45
mm.
because they were over me, and I
Oh,
was
really?
like, I had no opener. I also had no opener, so like, and it was at a weird venue,
Was
and it
this
was
in Minneapolis?
yeah,
Okay.
it was that bear event that I got hired to do.
Oh.
Um, I did comedy next to a pool with a bunch of bears in a pool. It was awesome. I had a great experience, but I did not do the full hour. I definitely could tell at about 40 minutes that I was like, I don't think these people are going to listen to me much longer. Like I could
hmm
feel there. And it's, I
Like the
mean,
first half hour of the set went really well, and then they really started to.
mm-hmm. Well, it's a whole thing, dude.
Mm.
An hour is a totally different art. It's a totally different thing
Yeah,
than
I imagine.
20
I
or
think I've done
5.
like 15 once.
Well, even like so doing 15,
I
you
don't
can
even know if I've
stitch
done 15. I think I did 13.
really.
I think I told the guy I said I'm confident that I could do 10, and he was like, "Yeah, that's fine. I don't care. Nobody's going to be here anyway." And so I did all my jokes, and it ended up being like 13 minutes or something to like two people.
Yeah.
I was looking for smiles.
Well, it's like it's this is my opinion
hmm
obviously too, but it's like when you can and you 15 even 20 honestly, you can just stitch 5-minute sets or 3-minute sets together to
hmm
make your 15
Yeah.
or
hmm
20. But when you're doing an hour, that's a totally different thing. Like you need it to have like peaks and valleys, and you need to
Yeah.
be okay with there being some valleys because people cannot laugh at that rate for that long. Like they can't.
hmm
And it's taken me a while to realize that. No, I
Yeah.
mean, and it was like, so with our style that we do right now, it's just like boom, 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 like really punchy. But you
hmm
can't do that for an hour. You just can't
Yeah.
because people aren't they just can't handle that. And so it is. So, I
Yeah, I
mean,
can't even imagine somebody hiring me to do an hour. I would laugh at them. I would be like, "What? Have you seen what I do?"
oh, if I did this again,
hmm
um, if I were to somehow do this again, first of all, bringing an opener. That is 100%.
hmm
If you're ever headline, like if you ever get an opportunity to like headline a thing, bring an
hmm
opener for God's sakes. Like at least
Like,
one
ask them if
opener.
there's an opener, and if there isn't,
Yeah,
then definitely bring someone. And
bring
if even if there is an
and
opener,
give them
say,
some
"Hey,
of
I'm
your
gonna bring
money.
a feature."
Yeah, bring some kind of opener that. Well, I mean, the value of you bringing an opener is you can trust. It's somebody that you can trust.
hmm
That is the biggest takeaway for me was just like, God, I really wish I brought an opener. But I had no idea because it's literally, they're just like, the DJ is just like, all right, we got a comedian coming up. Here he is. And you're just like, all right, hi. I'm like, okay. Like, hello. Like they might say your name.
Yeah, that does feel like it would be really weird.
Yeah. Like, I know you guys are like
I
dancing,
saw a guy
but
do a show
here we
like that.
go.
I saw a guy do that. I forget where it was, at the Molly Brown in Bozeman, and I
Strike
for,
one.
I think it was when Mobb Deep played there.
Okay.
And this was in like 2016, I believe.
All right.
Prodigy was still alive, rest in peace. And yeah, they got on at like midnight, but they had opener after opener for like from 8 p.m. to midnight, because we got there, we wanted to get drunk and hang out at the Molly Brown, and
Yeah.
we didn't know that they would be 4 hours late because we hadn't been to a lot of rap concerts yet, so we didn't know how it works. Um, But yeah, one of the openers was like a local comedian in Bozeman.
Oh, really?
He did like 15, and I think he just, they were just like, here's a comedian, this
Well,
guy,
see,
and
but doing
yeah.
15, that's not bad. I'm
But
talking
like
about.
it was one of those things where he didn't really get a weird. He got like a weird intro where it was just like, "This guy is a comedian. Please welcome this guy." It
Yeah.
was like a mixed mic. Honestly, it was a mixed open mic up until that concert, because
Okay.
it was like the Bozeman hip hop scene.
Okay.
Yeah,
Dude,
so it was a
that's
lot of white guys singing about getting stoned,
about
and
different
or
ways of smoking weed.
rapping about weed. And then apparently someone in the scene had recently passed away, and so they all kind of had a tribute song to that guy.
Okay.
He seemed like he must have been a nice guy because they all really missed him, and I felt bad for them for that, you know.
That's funny.
Yeah, but they all had a tribute song to that man, and then they talked about smoking pot, because I think that's the only hip hop type of thing that you're allowed to do in Bozeman. I don't think any other hip hop type of situations go down in Bozeman.
Just weed beats.
They don't have, there isn't a, you know, the club. There isn't a club
There's no club.
in Bozeman, you know.
Nope.
I don't think you can get bottle service or table service anywhere.
Not even at like Plonk.
No, I don't think you could get, no, Plonk is like a wine bar. It's not like a,
So you could get bottle service.
you
can get a
could,
wine bottle.
you could get a bottle of wine to your table, yeah, but it's like, it's not like you're not VIP anywhere in Plonk. You're just wasting money in Bozeman.
Oh man. But yeah, I'd say, well, I mean, it's also a whole learning thing. Like now, I after hosting these shows that I host all the time, I go up cold,
Mhm.
3 times a week now.
Yeah.
So that's fine. Up until that point, I had always just been on shows. And I think that's the value of running like a shitty open mic
Mhm.
or even and making it good is like you get to the point where like
If you have to
you
go
kind
and
of
cold
know.
open for yourself, you can roll in and just be like, "Hey, everybody,
Yeah.
I'm me, and you're gonna listen to me for a while." So,
Yeah. And in like really you can do it smoothly or you can do it not smooth and you know how
mhm,
to deal with how not smooth you just did it.
mhm,
And you can make it, it's just, there really is an art to starting a show. And when you don't have an opener,
mhm,
like you're also doing that. And then it is it's very weird. Cause like, at least with even like, if I were to do that again, I'd even just like bring someone like Todd or somebody and just be like, Todd, just do like 3 minutes and then just bring it out. Like
yeah,
whatever, like uh having somebody to just sort of like take that moment and make it like, hey everybody, this is what's happening, like
mhm,
here, like I say something, you do something, it's funny, and then be like, you ready for this, and then like get it going, and
mhm.
this like, and so the person can come up to like, whatever,
Yeah, they could
like
come up to some,
some energy,
yeah,
whether it's with music or whatever,
yeah.
but it's
Or
still
at
going to be
least you
more
got somebody who's
energy.
like, "Please welcome to the stage, your
Yeah,
headliner for this evening.
yeah, exactly.
Hilarious. You're gonna
Yeah,
love
some
them."
kind of like hype. There's a reason
Yeah.
why that person is there, and it's just to like be like, yo, this person's awesome, trust me. It's like you're doing an Amazon
All
review
right.
live of them, like you're just giving them a 5-star review before they even get up there, to just
Yeah.
build everyone's expectations up
Yeah,
regardless.
get people in like, "Oh, we're gonna love them."
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
So, and it just, I think it engages people a little bit more, other
Mhm.
than like if it's just you, just like, hey guys, so just by the way, I'm awesome. like,
Yeah.
like how
No,
it,
that does sound weird. I'm thinking about all, I've never been to a stand-up, like an actual stand-up show that didn't have an opener.
yeah, that's
I
the
don't
reason
think I've
for it.
ever been to a show where it was just one guy. And yeah, it
I
makes sense because the opener is always like, even at a dedicated stand-up show, they're always like the first couple minutes is awkward,
mm-hmm.
and it's like, you know, there's
I
no
mean,
energy. Like their set never has a lot of energy. Like
mm-mm.
they're building up the crowd,
Yeah.
you know, and by the time the feature gets up there, then there's usually some
And that's why I think it's good to do it
Yeah.
to do that a bunch
Mm-hmm.
before you do the other things. Like
Yeah.
it would be odd
Yeah.
to just be a headliner all of this, like
Well, because
without doing
I
that.
think I've told you about this show that I went to see. It was a couple weeks before the shutdown. We went to see Beth Stelling. I'll name drop, and her opener or her feature act, who I won't name drop, uh, bombed
Oh,
pretty
really?
hard. Yeah, yeah, they bombed. Was there were two of them, and they had like a two people do comedy at the same time type of act, and I'm sure they're very funny from time to time, but this was not one of those times.
Like, was it just that their material wasn't funny? Or
Yeah, they did a lot of like riffing on the room, and it was all like the most like overdone Portland jokes of all time. Just like, oh, artisan kombucha,
Oh yeah,
and it's like, oh yeah, we've heard it.
dude. When
And it
when I
wasn't it wasn't like they didn't have a funny enough take on the hacky Portland obvious Portland jokes. It
yeah,
was just all the obvious Portland jokes, and
just
nobody was about
just
it.
but just like observing it and not really making a
Yeah, no,
like
they
just.
made all the jokes, but the jokes they made were the easy like the go-to joke, like the shit that everyone's already heard.
Mm-hmm.
And so the crowd just wasn't into it. It was hard to watch. I felt a little bad for them, but more annoyed that they were setting up Beth, who I was excited to see, that they were like just bombing so hard, and she had to dig out of that hole for her whole set.
Oh really?
Yeah, like I respected her so much for how well she did. She had to dig herself out of that hole.
Mm-hmm.
Like I mean, she's a professional comedian, so like she should be able to do that.
Yeah, you
But she
got
did. Yeah, she crushed it. It was
you,
awesome.
and I
She
think,
came
but
out with a ton of energy and hit him with a bunch of punchlines in a row, and got the crowd
yeah,
kind of back into it.
oh, that's cool.
But yeah, every time that something went a little awry in her set, it was like right back down. Like,
Oh man,
yeah, like the crowd just was in a weird mood the whole fucking time.
have you ever had sets like that? It's weird, where it's just like boom, and then just like nope, like nope, 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 yeah, nope, nope, yeah, nope. Like
Um,
it's this odd
I
like
think I have. I've
they
had a
either
lot of.
love or hate you, and somehow it's like there's never
Mm,
any like medium laughs. It's just like boom or nothing,
no, you know what? I actually haven't had that
pop or
experience yet.
nothing.
I've had a lot of. They just like were neutral on me, and they laughed. I think out of
Mm-hmm.
respect, and just like if we just laugh, then he'll only do the time he's allotted, and he'll leave.
He's not gonna keep talking.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, once again, it's like it's
so I
such a
tried to
different.
respect that opinion. I did my time
Yeah,
and I fucked off. But like,
got right off.
yeah, so I've had those. I've had good sets, and then I've had where I have a joke do really well with one crowd and then just eat dicks with the next crowd.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah, where you're just like, well,
we're
I
just
don't
like,
really.
yeah, well, they didn't like it, but the other five crowds I've done it for did, so I'm gonna keep saying the joke.
I
Fuck them.
mean, sometimes there's like little things. It's like, oh, I forgot to do
Yeah,
something, or it's a
those are the
callback,
ones I
or
listen back to where it's like, why did that joke not work for these people?
and
And
sometimes it's like
sometimes it's because
one
I fucked
word,
it up. Yeah.
or sometimes it's like a word that you normally say,
Mhm.
and then you just like cut it, like
Mhm.
for whatever reason, and then it's
Yeah,
like,
I've had that
oh,
experience
that one word totally changes
where I
everything.
try saying the punchline differently or something. I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
let's try saying it this way. Nope. Nope. Go back to the other way.
I've had some jokes. I think the best example for me with that joke were that I have about Portland. That hacky joke I have about my observation about Portland. No,
Mhm.
but I have a joke about when I first moved here, and when I changed the tone in which I said it,
Mhm.
it totally changed it, and I started get it. Like I was like, I know this is funny. I'm gonna keep doing it until it gets a laugh, and I'm glad I did that because once I figured out that like little detail of a like thing in the
Mhm.
joke, I don't want to say the joke, but where I just like I put some emphasis on this one word, and
Yeah.
and I changed my tone where I'm just like nobody, and like when I started saying that, totally changed and started getting huge laughs. It went from getting nothing to like big laughs. So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it's just
Okay,
the
yeah, I know what
tone.
joke you're
You
talking
know what
about now.
joke I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I can totally see that too. Yeah,
when
like the
you
way
say it
you
like a
say it.
silly fun way, it's just like, what? But when you come in and just like nobody and
Yeah.
like
Yeah, it really
say it like,
emphasizes the point you're trying to make, that it was
yeah.
like, yeah.
And it was game changer. I mean, who knows too? That might have just been like I was doing a bunch of open mics for the same person, the same people, and like just because I yelled or like I'm now putting emphasis, like now they're actually hearing it,
Mhm.
and so whatever.
All
It's
right,
all
well we might need to wrap this bitch up.
yep,
We've been rolling for a minute now.
yep. I think we're good.
React element 87.
Yep.
If I'm burglarized and they only take these and I get the $160 of insurance money,
Are you replacing them?
probably not. Gonna
Nope,
be
because
completely honest. I
they
don't
dig
like the
in.
blisters. They just don't fit my feet perfectly, and so I would probably choose a different one. I might go with the React Prestos instead. Those look
Yeah,
like they might be pretty comfy. I've heard they're really comfy, you know, as a
yeah.
React sneaker. I would probably just try something different, but I don't regret buying them. I like them. I think they look cool. And that's my
Awesome. All right,
summary of those.
where can people find you, Nick?
Nick Scalzone Comedy on Instagram.
Awesome. And you can find me at bjornrg.com. All my stuff's on there. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.